Hello, good morning. Tired, Tara, good morning. Please, could you please connect your mic? Welcome, Fabian. Tara, please connect your mic.
Hi, Phoebe. Good
Hi,
morning.
Bossa. Good morning. How you doing?
Very well.
Good to see your face.
I know, right? Hello.
Good morning, Abosere. Good morning, Fabian. Welcome.
Good morning.
Tara was there before. She just had an issue with her mic, so she's going to connect back.
Okay.
Tara, welcome.
Tara.
Yeah.
Tara, you're on mute.
Oh, I didn't know. Sorry.
Welcome, Tara.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Sorry, I thought it was even afternoon. For some reason, been up for too long, I guess.
Yes, it worked for, maybe had a head start. It worked for a long time.
Yeah, I did.
Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I know
Hello.
Ade. Okay, I've seen Fabian's profile, seen the names. Hi, everyone. My name is Tara.
Hello.
Tara
Hi,
Jibulo.
Tara.
Yeah.
Hi, Tara.
Hello.
Oh.
Hey, welcome, Ibade. Welcome. Ibade, you're on mute. Ibade, you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Good morning.
I can hear you. Good
Good
morning.
Your
Nice
name,
to meet you all.
And you too.
Nice
Your
to
name
meet
read Tayo. Your name read Tayo at first, and I'm like, is this Tayo? This is not the
No,
Tayo I know.
I think they gave me Tayo's login or something, but I've changed
Oh.
it. So, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So nice meeting you all.
Nice
Yes,
meeting
nice to meet you.
Ifeanyi, do you need anything from us? Your face is a bit
Dark.
Dark?
like I can't make out your face. Maybe your background or something.
Yes, the virtual
Hold
background.
on. Let me turn and face the light.
Hey.
Aha, it looks better.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I can't
thank you.
see you anymore.
Just
Okay, let
scroll.
me.
Yes, just
Okay,
scroll.
maybe I'll change. Yes, I've changed the direction. Okay.
Okay, who are we missing now? Missing Tayo
And Glory.
and Glory. Okay, let me get on to that.
Just to confirm, do I have background noise?
No.
I hear it.
Great.
Is my video okay? I don't have a fancy backdrop.
Same here. Same here.
I've noticed every time I'm on a webinar, the person who's talking either has a bookshelf behind the body, you're doing good. The bookshelf behind, the nice flower pot. I'm yet to have a banging setup. Maybe I'll look into it if I do more If I do more of these.
Yeah, this was my sister's COVID project. She realized she could draw during
Okay,
lockdown. So these are her paintings.
that's fantastic.
Wow, great.
That's
That's
fantastic.
nice. Then Tara,
Yeah.
there's a ray of light. Can
I should
you,
block
yeah,
it up.
yeah. I hope it won't be too dark.
It's not too dark now, is it?
No.
A lot
No.
better.
Let me try one. Is this better?
Yeah.
So we don't have to present anything, just talk, right?
Yes, I guess.
So there's a Q&A. I don't know if you looked through. So there's going to be a Q&A from 10 past 11. Each of you would be answering 4 questions for 4 minutes each. So the first question is, what are the 2 key challenges women face in their corporate career? And how do you suggest they navigate through them? So basically, you're talking about your own unique experience. You know, you're trying to tie that with, you know, generally accepted, you know, ways to, I guess, manage career as a woman. Then the second one would be, how can women succeed as entrepreneurs, especially during this pandemic? So they have everybody here 4 minutes each, but if you are not an entrepreneur, you can talk about, you know, your experience if you have, or if you don't have. I mean, even in the workplace these days, we're told to be entrepreneurs, so that should help. Then the third one is, what are the best ways women can manage discrimination, abuse, family, and societal pressures? So here again, it's good to talk through your own experience. Maybe if you've had, you know, discrimination, you can tell a story. That's kind of, you know, draw people in more. Then the fourth one is, what advice would you give to the next generation of female leaders? So here again, you're kind of like a motivational speaker, and then you can now talk through that. So after that, we can now have the Q&A. Some questions are already in from the Q&A. There are 5 questions already. So I'm thinking that you just indicate which question you want to answer, or maybe just to make it quick. Can we just quickly agree now? We still have about 5 minutes. So the first one is, why do men abhor women that are into successful businesses? And can sexuality be totally divulged from business? Hello?
What do you want us to talk about to decide who will take
Yes,
what?
it would be nice. Yes, so that we don't waste too much time, you know, everybody trying to, or me trying to ask who is interested in this, and 2 people are trying to talk at the same time. If we can agree beforehand who would like to take that, then I know to ask that person directly when it's that time.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Fine. Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
I agree.
Yeah, it does.
So who would like to take that first question?
Okay, I'll take that one.
Who is that? Is that Fabian?
No, that's
That's
Bose.
perfect.
Okay. That does. Okay. So Bossa is taking that. The next one, the person said she's a mentor at the Cherry Blair Foundation. She's married with kids.
Hello?
And can you hear me?
Hello, Paddy. Is it
Yes?
fine?
Yes, go
Sorry,
ahead.
I just
Fine.
wanted to let you know that you are live and we have participants already.
Okay.
I think the best way will be for us to just you can do code call for the question Q&A.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Welcome, Glory. Anya, welcome. Glory, can you hear me? Yeah, you're mute.
I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. Morning, Ibadi, Fiban, who else on the call? Tara, what's everyone? Good
Hi,
morning.
Glory.
Hi.
Morning, Glory. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, we have about 2 minutes to go.
Ivadi, I need to quickly speak to you, so I'm gonna call you on your phone, okay?
Okay, I have a question actually, very quickly. Please, is there going to be a timer so that we don't go over our 4 minutes? Just curious.
No, Glory, to your question, no, there won't be a timer because there are some elements of things that you may like to bring out. So just for you to complete the sentence. Well, Ibade will decide, but we don't have a timer. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our session, Women and Business, Navigating the Challenges. My name is Ifeanyi Ajebili. I work with LBS. I'm not your host today. Ibada and the ladies are. So my work today is to just introduce the moderator. I know some of you will be asking, this is a women event, so what is a guy doing here? Well, I have a wife, and I know that I know that women are the best thing that has ever happened to us. If you disagree and you are a guy on this call, on this webinar, please just stay tuned so that I can learn how we can make a world a better place. The session today will be about women and business, navigating the challenges. And I'll just introduce the moderator. Ibade Akwede is the Chief Commercial Officer of Octave Analytics. She's a management consultant with over a decade in cross-functional management across marketing, strategy, and HR. She's passionate about socioeconomic development, especially in Nigeria, and also in helping businesses grow their capacity. Ibadi has led management level position, Zenith Bank, British American Tobacco, Celeris, and now she's in Octave Analytics. She's also an alumnus of LBS. She did the executive MBA program. She holds a degree in biochemistry from University of Lagos. So please join me in welcoming Ibade Akpede. That's all my work today. Thank you. Ibade, you're on.
She's on mute.
She's muted.
Okay, Ibade, you're on mute.
Better you're on mute.
Thank you very much. So it may be nice to make me the host so that I can, also unmute who I need to unmute. Okay, good morning, everyone. Nice to be here this beautiful Saturday morning. The men among us, the gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, like Sheryl Sandberg would say, she envisions a world, and I join her in that belief. We envision a world where at some point it will not be about female leaders, but it will be about leaders in general. So what that means is it doesn't matter your gender. You can be male, you can be female, insofar as you aspire to, do great things in the world. You should have the opportunity. So it shouldn't be a big deal whether you're female or you're male. So welcome once again, and I hope you have a nice session with us as we discuss navigating the challenges, especially for us women, because we have unique challenges. So I'll just quickly introduce my fellow panelists, the speakers, and I'll be doing that quickly, and then afterwards we can take it up from there. So thank you once again for everyone who has joined, and we hope you would have a lovely time with us. So I'll be starting off with Fibian Amusan. Fibian is a future of work leader. She's a career development expert. She's an internationally certified professional resume writer, a seasoned HR professional, and an international speaker. She's also an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, Nigeria. She's a member of the Professional Association of Resume Writers and Career Coaches, USA, and also a member of the Dialogue Now, which is a speakers bureau based in United Arab Emirates. She's the chief disruptor at Future Demi, a platform for building the capacity of people and businesses for the future of work while leveraging emerging technologies. Wow, she has a lot under her belt. She's also the CEO of HR Pitch, a company which provides complete human resource management and career development services to clients across Africa, Europe, and North America. She helps professionals build successful and sustainable, rewarding careers so that they can have a highly productive workforce. Over the years, she has functioned as a keynote speaker and panelist at both local and international conferences and summits. She also is the immediate past chairman of Chartered Institute of Personnel Management Mainland Chapter, Lagos State Branch, and she's a fellow alumni from the Lagos Business School, and she has a BSc in Chemical and Polymer Engineering from Lagos State University. So, Fibian, just quickly say hello to our distinguished participants. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be here. I'm sure you're going to have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fibian. Okay, so the next on our list is Tayo Bisiriyu. Tayo Bisiriyu is a project manager at Veraki Partners. Veraki Partners is formerly Accenture. She's a seasoned entrepreneur. She has over 14 years experience spanning project management, project planning, risk management, resource management, scope management. In fact, all of the management you can think about: procurement, stakeholder, quality, even financial management. She's also She's also worked across the management consulting and impact consulting sectors. She's passionate about entrepreneurship, management consulting, coaching, business strategy, business model development, strategic partnerships, project management, financial modeling, mergers and acquisitions. All of this is with the objective of growing revenues while creating a sustainable socioeconomic impact. She has had management level exposure and positions in Access Bank, Sky Bank, and then currently Veraki Partners. She's a graduate of Lagos State University and holds an MBA as well from Lagos Business School. I'll be taking Gloria Inaya. She's the founder, CEO of Cleos Africa. She's an international business consultant who works with organizations around the world to ensure full adoption of transformation initiatives and improve their performance. She's a PROCI certified change manager. She has managed change across several projects in the public sector and private sector, including Accenture and other blue chip companies. She created Cleos Africa, which is Africa's first consulting platform, which has advised over 150 SMEs, that's small, medium enterprises. She's an advisor to the Center for Global Enterprise and Grow Movement. She has advised over 100 women entrepreneurs. She's a globally certified management consultant and a fellow of the Institute of Management Consultants of Nigeria. She's also a prolific writer. She has written for leading publishers such as Wiley and Routledge. She's an international speaker who speaks at conferences in the Middle East and North America. She holds a BS in accounting with first-class honors from University of Lagos and an MBA with distinction from Lagos Business School. She also sits on the governing board of Beta Gamma Sigma, which is a global business honors society, and Dominican College. So before Glory says hello to us, Tayo Bisiri would say hello to us. Tayo is the project manager at Veraki. So Tayo, please unmute and say hello to our participants.
Hello, everyone. I trust we're all staying safe. Good to be here, and I hope it's going to be an interactive session.
Thank you, Tayo. Glory, you're next.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for making out time on Saturday. I know Saturday is quality time for everyone, and thanks for making out time to spend 2 hours with us. We hope to give as much value as possible and make this an enriching session for all. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Gloria, and thank you, Tayo. So the next on my list would be Oluwatara Ajao. She's actually Ajibulu, so she's Ni Ajao, just for the records, Tara. She's she's operations manager at Bstaff Technologies, which is a startup under the MRS Holdings. She's a business management professional in the oil and gas downstream industry. She specializes in aviation fuel and retail service station management. She has successfully managed a team of over 40 people and increased revenue and station performance by 10% between 2016 and 2017. Tara holds a bachelor's from Cardiff University, Wales, and an MBA also from the prestigious Lagos Business School. She has work experience of over 10 years. She has played advisory roles in several SMEs and is an executive director in a media production company. She has interest in agribusiness, data, and marketing analytics. She's also passionate about developing young people. Thank you very much, Tara, for being here. You can just quickly say hello to every one of us.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for making out time to join us. And we hope it's a value impacting session. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Tara. So last and by no means the least, we have Abosede Ogundiyan. She's an HR manager at Portland. She's a passionate human resource generalist. She also has experience across major aspects of HR, including talent acquisition and management, performance management, learning and development, employee engagement, employer branding, and also she's done payroll management and industrial relations. She's great at developing and managing relationships, and she hopes to influence the HR landscape By HR, I mean human resources, one business at a time. Her professional experience spans top industries, including Swift Networks, Promasidor, Bersdorf Nivier, and UAC, where she has exercised different capacities in the HR department. She has written a number of articles that aim at a better practice of human resource management and is certified by reputable bodies in HR practice. Again, she has an MBA from Lagos Business School. And interestingly, she has a BS in biochemistry, just like me, from the University of Lagos. So we have a lot in common. So thank you, Abosede, and can you just say hello to our participants?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out. We hope to answer as many of your questions as possible. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, distinguished panelists. I hope and I believe that you have access to unmute yourself when the time comes, because we're going to be discussing for the next, I'll say 15 minutes, thereabouts, or about 40 minutes on different topical issues. Just to help our listeners and participants, get to see how they can navigate. I'm sure they've already heard from the brief resume I've read out for everyone that it's actually possible to combine a lot of things as a woman. I mean, we are natural multitaskers, even though some management experts will tell you multitasking is not effective, but I believe they're looking at it from the male gender perspective, because I can tell you for free that men find it difficult to multitask. But for us women, we are naturals at it. So trust me, you can do a lot as a woman. So the first question everyone would be answering, every of my speakers will be answering is, what are the 2 key challenges women face in their corporate career? And how do you suggest they navigate through them? So I'll be using my Zoom screen, the way it's laid out, so to make it easy for me. So the first person I have is Glory, and then after Glory, Tara, you'll be next. So Glory, just basically tell us how you've been able to manage the challenges you've faced in your corporate career, and how would you suggest people navigate through them, women in particular. So over to you, Glory.
All right, thanks very much, buddy. So I think one of the major challenges professional women face is authentic leadership. We try to say that it's a man's world and men are not leaders, but if you're going to be a woman in a professional world, you also have to be able to establish your brand of leadership and be respected for it. And of course, the first person you have to lead is yourself. So I would say that the 2 challenges, or the 2 key success factors to be successful as a professional woman are, number 1, clarity of purpose, and number 2, personal integrity. So what do I mean by clarity of purpose? There's a popular TED talk by Simon Sinek where he called on Know Your Why, or Start With Why. So he talks about Apple, the success of Apple. I mean, everybody knows how legendary the iPhones and the other products are, but they don't start out by saying, we sell iPhones, our screens are amazing, the design is great. No. When you watch an Apple advertisement, they're always talking about think differently, be innovative. They tell you what is the purpose and the vision and the values behind the company before they start talking about the products they sell. So a Samsung or a Nokia, even though they sell almost the same thing, they can't compete because their brand values are very different. He also talks about Martin Luther King, who started by saying, I have a dream, rather than the typical politician of today that just rolls out a 7-point agenda. Martin Luther King went to the root of his vision, and he tried to sell that to people. So how does that help? How do those examples help us as female entrepreneurs or businesswomen? You need to be able to define what success means to you personally. Not everybody wants a corporate career. Some people want to be business people. And so you need to be able to understand as an individual, what do you want? Do you want to get to the top of your career? Do you want to be a CEO of a multinational, or a Fortune 500, Fortune 100 company? And what price do you have to pay to achieve that? Or do you want to run your own company, start something from scratch, leave a legacy for the future? And also, what price do you also have to pay to achieve that? You also have to be good at visualizing, create a vivid mental image of yourself when you get to your El Dorado, or, when you achieve the peak of your success. What does that mean to you? How does that look for you? What are your personal values? Even in the field of entrepreneurship, there's a theory that says you have to choose between money and control. If you're becoming a CEO because you want to be on top of, you want to be in control, you want to be your own boss, then your decisions are going to be slightly different from someone that is becoming a CEO because he wants to make a lot of money and increase his shareholder value. So you need to be able to know what are your core values. Also, to help you become more self-aware, I would recommend you keep a journal, where you reflect on your successes and failures. I also recommend that you write a personal mission statement. So in fact, you just answer in a single sentence, okay, what exactly do you want out of your career? So those are, from my perspective, those are key success factors for clarity of purpose. Now, when you're sure what you want to achieve, the next is you have to be true to yourself. So that's where personal integrity comes in. You have to be fearless. We as women have a tendency to always see ourselves through the eyes of others. So, ask what people think about me. Am I engaging? Do they look up to me? Do they admire me? But in business, you can't always afford to be too nice. Sometimes you have to stand for something and be known for your principles. So that's what being fearless is. You also need to be consistent and follow through with what you say you're going to do. You need to be true to yourself. Don't be moved by keeping up with the Joneses. So for instance, if you know you want to start a business, then you have to understand that maybe for the first few years, your income may not be at the level of people that worked with you in the corporate world. You may have to take a pay cut because of the equity that you own in your company. So don't always aspire to, to keep up with the Joneses or have exactly what the girl next door has. You have to be true to yourself and have personal integrity. You also have to learn how to say no. You can't say yes to everything. You can't be all things to everybody. The CEO of PepsiCo, the current chairman of PepsiCo, Indra Nooyi, talks about how sometimes she wakes up and it's like, okay, today I'm going to be a very good mother. I'm going to prioritize my daughter. Tomorrow, she may have to be a very good CEO. Next tomorrow, she may have to be a very good daughter. So knowing that you have different roles and being able to balance them is key, so that you're able to play the roles in your life without falling short in any. Finally, of course, you have to surround yourself with good role models. So once you know what you want to be in life, find out people that have already achieved that and learn from them so that you can make your success more assured. So in a nutshell, in summary, the main challenge that women face in professional careers is authentic leadership, and they can overcome that challenge through personal integrity as well as clarity of purpose. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Glory. It's important that we're authentic in everything we do. So Tara, you're next. What do you think are the two key challenges women face, and how should they navigate that or navigate those challenges?
Okay. I think Glory pretty much mentioned key things. So I will address from my perspective, of course, based on my own work experience, being a professional, a wife, and a mother at the same time, and also interested in building my career. Having authentic leadership as one of the issues is also a main issue, is that work-life balance. Like right now, I have my daughter knocking on my door, trying to barge in here to ask me something perhaps silly, but then work-life balance has been a major challenge in trying to grow my career and in the choices that I make in trying to develop myself and get to where I want to go. So I have my goal, like Glory has said. I have my diary, I have my plans, vision board, where I want to get to, how I want to get there. But then I'm a wife and a mother, and the expectations are there, very high for women. Women are expected and actually do have a very would we say high bandwidth, high threshold to tolerate and capacity to do and be. But then the challenge we have is we're afraid. We feel like the things that are expected of us because we're a mother, we are perhaps MD and leading a massive team. I would use an example. I chose to have my second child in 2017 when I was leading the biggest team I've led before. And at the same time, right after having my baby, I decided to do an MBA. So making these decisions and being able to manage my work, my personal decision to develop myself and be a mother to one child, to two kids and also be a wife, work-life balance is a major challenge. And we must not disregard the importance of support systems. We must not be ashamed of asking for help. Yes, we are super women and a lot of us have the capacity, both men and women have the capacity to do a lot more than we even imagine. But we must believe that we need to allow ourselves reach that capacity. So it is important that you know yourself. The importance of knowing yourself before you even begin to venture into career choices, decisions you make on marriage, relationships that you keep. You must know what your capacity is. And another thing is, despite having all these things we have to handle, we must not shy away from work. We should be able to take on responsibilities. Some of us, like a lot of us women, are afraid to say, I can do that, or think to ourselves, oh, there are so many men here, or I will not have the opportunity. How about you say it and be told no? Don't be afraid to accept no. You will have that confidence and remember that, okay, at least I took this step, and always take this step, even when you get that no. Getting a no, you remember that, yes, I made that step and I did this. And then when you are in that position and you have been given that responsibility, take it and do your very best at it. Be able to delegate efficiently within a team that you work with. If you lead that team, delegate efficiently. At the end of the day, a support system, a team, everybody working together gets you the results that you are to give your management or give the leadership or the results you want to get at the end of the day. So work-life balance being a challenge, dealing with it, you have to know yourself. Don't be afraid to take on that challenge. Don't be afraid to say yes. My first challenge in a job was in Cameroon. And even when I thought I couldn't do it, fortunately, I had a boss who felt you could do it. So even when I thought, he said, no, just go. You have a team. They know this, you know this, and this is what I need. So when you get there, you'll know what to do. And we did it. So that was my very first experience. In as much as I was unsure of myself at that point, I had a boss who said you could do it. So some people would be opportune or fortunate to have bosses and work environments where they will push you. And there are some environments where you need to take it or take that opportunity or position yourself for it. So yeah, I think that summarizes.
Thank you very much, Tara. Just to wrap up quickly what you've just said. Work-life balance is very key, and it's also important to know yourself. So I like what Socrates said: "Man, know thyself," which also translates to "woman, know thyself." Yeah. And then I typically add something else, which is from someone else called Polonius, from Hamlet. I think that's Shakespeare, and it says, "To thyself be true." So I typically will add them together. Ivade, know thyself, and to thyself be true. Gloria also mentioned that when she talked about authentic leadership, you are not the next person. So you are unique in your own way and bring yourself to the table all the time. Thank you. Tayo, you are next. Let's quickly hear from you. Yeah, mute. Okay.
Yes, okay. I think we've all delved very well into it, but if we see the charts coming in, a lot of people are saying, look, can we really strike the balance? Will we ever get to a place where there's balance between your work, your life, and for me, growing up, when I started banking in the early 2000s, examples I saw in the banking sector were women that so to me, I felt it looked as though for you to be successful in the banking sector, you would lose the home front. You can't have it both ways. And during those times, it was I was always looking for mentors to say, look, I must get somebody who has it all. And I was fortunate to meet my mentors at the time, and I felt, and so I began to ask questions. How do you do these things? Another experience I had was when I went on maternity leave. Back in the day, we had not embraced technology as much as we have now. Then when you go on maternity leave, you cannot even access your emails. You can't really get to do work. And psychologically or mentally, you also shut down, especially a number of people that leave the country to have their babies. And, you just shut down and you're not working. And I remember when I got back and promotion list was out. And I was really sad that I was not on the promotion list. And I felt, look, why wasn't I promoted? So I spoke with my MD at the time and I said, listen, before I went on maternity leave, I ensured that all my deliverables were met, and I'm shocked. And he did mention that, look, while we would love to promote you, you're a nursing mom. So you're going to be leaving at 3 or 2, and you may not have the capacity to lead the team. And I felt really bad at the time. I felt, look, why would I suffer? Why would my career suffer because I had a baby? And so those were nuances at the time that a number of years later, a lot has changed. A lot of things have been corrected, and I'm so proud of a lot of evolution in the business world, where people are no longer measured by being a mom or getting pregnant. However, the question is, can we really balance it? What I try to do is make sure that my home front, I'm peaceful with my husband. The days I'm going to have long days at work, those are not the days I want to engage in fights. Those are not the days, because you need his buy-in. I need him to step in for me, for my kids. I need him to show up. So those are not the days. I became strategic. I learned it from my mentor. She says, look, Tara, you need to be strategic. The days you're going to be mad and upset, but those are not the days to pick a fight. When you see you see work piling, you're going to keep late nights. Now is the time to balance it with your husband so that he can stand in for you. Now is not the time to allow your nanny get on your nerves. Now is the time to overlook the shenanigans and try to juggle these things. And we're women, we have it. We have it within us. And I found out that helped me. So in addition, I want to say mentorship is critical. We must identify the people that have what we want, the people we look up to, and try to be open and seek guidance. A second challenge I also see is that these gender biases. To be honest, I do it. I remember when I was setting up a team, if you asked, to be honest, I felt, look, I want a guy on my team. I don't want, I want somebody that I can say, jump on the bike, get to this place and get it done. My conscience wouldn't allow me to do that to a lady. And so, interestingly, 2 days ago, I was reading a major interesting article on LinkedIn. And this HR specialist says she doesn't even want to see our names on our resumes anymore. I don't want to see names. I don't want to see date of birth. I don't want to see gender. So that when I am recruiting you, I'm recruiting you for the skills. I don't want to know your nationality, whether you're outside or Yoruba. I don't want to know if you are Rasaki or Kayode. I don't want to think she's a girl or she is a guy. I don't want to think religion. I don't want to think gender. I don't want all these biases. And it dawned on me that this is actually real. These are nuances within us that we think about. Oh, I want an Igbo girl in my team or a Yoruba girl. And she said, look, the evolution of recruitment, we need to start looking to take away the names, take away the gender, take away the religion, take away the date of birth, and let's focus on key competencies.
Thank you, Tayo. Thank you very much, Tayo. I can see the passion everyone is displaying. Just to quickly take it on. Thank you. So we'd have Fibian and then Abosede. Fibian?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tayo, for that. And nice seeing you again, Tayo. Okay, so I will start. How are we? Are we taking it from the aspect of the key challenges, what are the top two challenges that I want to mention? The first one I'm mentioning is attaining top leadership positions. You can all agree with me that women are underrepresented at the executive level. And it's so common that you just wonder, don't we have women that are stepping into this leadership position? Even at work, hello?
Yes, can you hear her? Can someone just confirm? Tara, can you hear her?
I can, but it's very faint, Vivian.
It's faint, Vivian, a bit, yes.
Okay.
It's better
Is it
now.
better now? Oh, fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I said the first challenge I'm going to mention is attaining top leadership position in the business world. You can all agree with me that when you look through and you check the people that make up the management committee, that is maybe the manco at work or the board members, you can realize that most times women are underrepresented at the executive level. And people that were actually able to attain that actually had to fight for it. They actually have to, do times 5 of what the men are doing in terms of delivering on the job roles. So this is a key challenge for women. And there's a report last year that is for Global Women in Business by Grant Thornton, where over 4,900 executives were surveyed across 35 countries. And we realized that globally, only 29% of women, that was in 2019, made it to senior management roles. And I wonder, don't we have women that can step in? Can't we have a larger percentage, say 50 or say 75%? Me?
Okay, I don't know if I'm the one struggling, but I'm struggling to hear her. Glory, can you hear Fabian?
Yes, I can. I can hear her quite well. Yes, I can hear her.
Okay. It must be my network. Okay, go ahead, please.
Just stop talking here. Go ahead.
Okay, maybe you can check your network. Okay, so as I was saying, women are, they're not there when it comes to taking up top leadership positions. And sometimes it boils down to us thinking that men have higher, they have higher chances of getting into top management positions compared to women. And women are sometimes shy to even ask for what is their right. When it also comes to salary negotiation, you see women pulling back. When it comes to promotion, you see women not standing up and demanding for what is their rights. Maybe the society that we have grown up in has actually taught us that the place of women, they subconsciously that the place of women is at the back. You have to support, not like you taking up a leadership position as it were. So this is a major and a key challenge for women. So I'm talking to women that are here today that you can take up senior and these C-suite roles, the chief executive role, the chief financial officer role, chief operating officer's role, you can actually step in. So how do you navigate this challenge? Get required skills that are necessary. If it requires you going back to school to get a second degree, then do that. If it requires you, signing up for courses, signing up for training, then do that. Do that. Step in. We have what it takes to lead. So it's high time that we take all this, these responsibilities. Then you also need to increase your visibility at work. It doesn't matter. You're getting all the job done, but nobody knows what you're doing. You're getting all the job done. You're keeping all your accolades, all the commendations, all the achievements. You have a folder on your system, and you're just dumping them in this folder. You're not blowing your own trumpet. So how will people know what you're made of? And when it's time to take on responsibility or a volunteer, we are pulling back. I could understand that because you have the home front, you need to actually shed some responsibility. But the responsibilities that you can take, blow your own trumpet, let people know what you can do. The one that have been committed to you, Give it your best.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
Thank
the second
you.
one before the second one before the second challenge. Let me quickly mention the second challenge, which is your relaunching your career. This is a major challenge for women because you are in a particular field and you want to cross over to another field. You find it hard to do. You find it difficult to move on to another role because you felt that you don't have the chance. So as a woman, look within. What are your skills? What are the options available? And don't be afraid to take those options and position yourself for that role that you're looking at. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fabian. You've been very passionate. Some people have had a challenge hearing you, unfortunately. So maybe what you can do is you can actually type if you have any specific question for her. Remember what Fabian does. She's a future of work leader, a career development expert. So if you have specific questions for her, you can also type those in the chat box. Interestingly, I've been seeing from the chat box that people keep talking about work-life balance. So I'm sure we would have to devote time to talk about that. Does work-life balance really exist? Is it a myth or is it a reality? Or like some people say now, there's nothing like work-life balance. It's about just balancing priorities. So but before we go into that, Abasade, just let us know what challenges you think women face and how they should navigate.
Thank you very much. The awesome thing about going last is everyone has done a great job for you, and you just get to pick a little from everyone.
You start first next for the next one.
So in my experience, I think one major challenge is fighting gender stereotypes. And I illustrate with an example. If there is a strategic marketing plan to be done and the planning for the end of year party, and there are males and females on a team, more often than not, the female gets delegated to the planning the end of year party, and then the men, the more strategic, quote unquote, assignments. So like most of the speakers have said, my charge to you is you need to speak up, you need to be heard. Yes, a lot of women draw back when we're asked to take on strategic assignments, but like Fabian rightly said, if you do not speak up, then nobody knows what you're about. You need to speak up, be willing to take those difficult challenges, and also be willing to say no to some scrap assignments. I would also give another example. In a leadership team meeting, for example, if someone spills their tea, if you notice unconsciously, everybody looks to the female, like, please take care of that. It's just part of our culture. So what I'm saying to you is at some point, you have to also learn to look away. You are not anybody's mommy in the workplace. You need to take charge as an executive, as a career woman, and stand your ground and do what needs to be done to ensure that you are heard in the business place. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, fantastic. You've helped us save time. Thank you so much, Abosede. I mean, everybody has said fantastic things this morning. So this I would we have Glory as the, should I say, the entrepreneur in residence. So I'll be giving her the honors of answering this question. And that has to do with how women can succeed as entrepreneurs especially during this pandemic. So Glory, that's your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Ibadi. So, I mean, there's the good thing, the interesting thing about this new normal is that there's so much information online about, the webinars everywhere about how you can do better and everything. But I would just like to distill some information that I got from my personal, both from research as well as from my personal experiences. First of all, I want to throw a question mark at that phrase, how women can thrive in the pandemic. Business survival is gender agnostic. So there are
absolutely.
So there are specific, it's not like, for instance, the balance sheet for women is different from the balance sheet for men, anything like that. If you're a successful entrepreneur, then, you have to be strategic regardless of the gender. But that being said, there are quite a few strategies that we can employ in order to succeed in this pandemic. The knee-jerk reaction that the first thing everybody thinks of, trying to succeed or survive in this pandemic is cutting costs in light of the loss of revenues. So, but And the first cost, unfortunately, to go is usually the staff cost. So people think layoffs. Let's start making people redundant. I'm on the board of an organization that laid off almost 40% of their staff in this pandemic. But what you realize is that layoffs don't guarantee business sustainability. Rather, a better strategy is using a smart transition to solve the problem, the new problems that have cropped up, or meeting new needs that the pandemic has brought into limelight. Because for the simple fact that, first of all, some of these layoffs, because they may be seen as unjustified, they might even expose you to legal remedies. Some people, especially if the number of people affected are substantial, they could take legal action against you, or even from a business point of view. When the pandemic is over, we won't have this COVID-19 pandemic forever. When it's over, you will need your team. You need those skills. You will need talent to move your business forward. So rather than jumping to lay people off, I would rather recommend creative pivoting. Now, the first step is to find out, ask yourself, okay, am I one of the fortunate industries? Or am I one of the disadvantaged industries in this new normal? Some of the industries that are thriving in this new normal are medical supplies, telecommunications, agriculture, while those that have been threatened are lines, hotel, tourism, and generally transport companies suffering. But that doesn't mean these threatened industries can't do anything to improve their lot. So for instance, passenger planes are being converted to cargo planes. So instead of carrying passengers, because nobody's flying, they've converted to cargo planes. Hotels, instead of looking for people on vacation, are now beginning to shelter medical personnel, because as you know very well, doctors are on call 24/7. Many of them don't want to go home so that they don't risk infecting their loved ones with COVID or whatever. So hotels are shifting to sheltering medical personnel. Fast food outlets, some of them are developing drive-throughs, which will enable them to serve at an acceptable social distance. Fashion designers have transited from, instead of making wedding clothes and outing clothes, which are currently barely in demand, no one's going out anymore. They're now producing face masks, some branded with company logos, as well as medical scrubs and uniforms for paramedics. Schools like our beloved LBS have transited to delivering classes and courses online. I think LBS now has a laundry list of online courses that they're providing. Even manufacturing. So the only indigenous car manufacturing company that we have in Nigeria, Innocent Motors, is now producing more ambulances than any other type of car. This is now what is most needed. Also hygiene. I'm also on the board of another company that it's a school, and we recently invested in a device that's an automatic sanitizer. So once the children pass through, it's like the usual security device that you see at the door, but it's an automatic sanitizer. Once the children pass through, it sanitizes them automatically. So that's an innovation that didn't exist prior to this pandemic. Sometimes, it doesn't have to be so sophisticated. Sometimes just going digital is enough to keep your business going in these COVID times. So many restaurants, supermarkets, and florists have strengthened their online presence, advertising their offerings on Instagram, websites, and subsequently delivering customer orders. Another industry, movie and cinema industry, they may have to consider doing something different in the industry, seeing as social distancing doesn't permit people to come together to watch movies anymore.
Yes.
Okay. You want me? Okay. So, okay. Well, okay, sure. So just to round up, the smartest way for entrepreneurs to survive and thrive is to apply the rule of thumb question: what problem can I solve in the present circumstances? Once you have an appropriate solution to a problem, then you have a ready market. Thank you.
Thank you. And some people have already, put things on the chat box that just, like they read my mind. I was going to say that in as much as, business is is what now you said
Gender
it's
agnostic.
COVID or gender agnostic, right? So it doesn't
Yeah.
discriminate by gender. But the truth is, as a woman, right, it's you can say it's cultural, you can say it's maybe because of our natural, motherly instinct and all of that. We are by nature we are nurturers. So even if if you and your husband are both entrepreneurs, and then during this period of online school, I mean, who is going to take charge of that, knowing that the children have to be sorted as well? So I don't know if Tara would want to, or Tayo would want to speak about that, even though I know both of you work in should I say structured organizations. However, you can just lay, just from the business perspective, because I mean, you're business managers. How do you think, women can succeed? How can they do that balancing act? Just briefly, 30 seconds each. Tara?
Okay. I believe this is with regards to thriving in this COVID-19 period.
Exactly, specifically.
I
yeah.
want to I want to agree with Glory 100%. When I saw the question, I thought to myself, surviving is surviving. It's not gender specific. Business environments will keep changing. And what is important is, as a business person, as a structured company or whatnot, accepting change is one thing you must be able to do quickly. Timely decision making and your strategy. You should always have a moving strategy, something that can always, your strategies must always change with what happens in your marketplace. I work in downstream oil and gas. And obviously, some of us are aware, the government is gradually taking off or taking out the subsidy on PMS. They drop the price, increase the price. I'm an advocate for complete deregulation because I think the whole thing is just a farce. But then again, you have made business plans and then your percentage of your volumes, 80% is on a product that you need to at least know, like you make all your plans on 80% of one product and the government comes and makes a change that just flips everything on its head. So that's why for you to thrive, either as a structured business, as an entrepreneur, you have a small business, being able to accept change, timely decision making, and your strategy is number one. Things will happen, things will change. Never be afraid. You see that thing we talked about in the first question with challenges, be fearless. You're going to do business, be fearless. You work in the workplace, be fearless. Don't allow fear prevent you from moving with time. Nokia did that. It wasn't even fear. They were too confident. And where are they now? So
Thank you, Tara. Tayo, you want to pitch in, or we should jump to the next question?
I want to say, while I also agree that it's not gender-based, whatever challenges we face in business. However, from the example you gave, it happened in my home. My husband had the meeting, I had a meeting, my daughter had virtual classes. And you and I know that we need to keep an eye on them when they are having, and then guess what? My daughter's laptop packs up. Automatically, I gave up my laptop. And then I'm asking, I said, but why aren't you giving up your laptop? And the guy is saying to me, when you start earning more money, then I can give up my laptop. So these are real situations because we are women. And the last speaker, look, honestly, a feminine instinct is to ensure everyone is fine. However, I want to say that, look, this pandemic has come to stay. We didn't think it was going to last this long. So for me, I say your mental well-being is so crucial. As women, where our first instinct is to panic. But let's take a deep breath. We need to work on our mental well-being because for us to function mentally, first get it together. And then I don't know, this businessman that said, look, for 2020, everybody's goal should be to survive. Our goal now is survival. Make sure you don't die from COVID-19. Make sure you don't lose your family and loved ones. Make sure, look, I don't care about you having your job or not. Just make sure you're surviving. And I also want to say that, look, now is the time to adapt and not quit. We shouldn't quit, but now is to re-strategize, to adapt and respond quickly to change? Thank you, Bade.
Thank you very much. So quickly, Abosede, I would say, how do you think women should manage discrimination, abuse, family and societal pressures? I mean, these are real things. We need to be real here. We've even seen it from the chat box, people talking about, should they tell their bosses in the workplace about challenges they are facing, in the home front that can affect their productivity at work, things like that. So do you want to quickly speak to how women can manage discrimination, abuse, family and societal pressures?
Yes. So in my opinion, my major charge to you is to find cheerleaders, either at work, at home, in your place of worship. Everyone needs a cheerleader. Find those people who will support you to achieve what you need to do. And like a lot of the speakers have said, women tend to want to act like superheroes. We all need help. You need to be with you, your family members, people who really know you and are interested in your well-being. Beyond that, the last point I'd like to talk about is the issue of top of mind awareness. A lot of people like Phoebe, and you do fantastic work. You have to increase your TOMA in your line of work to ensure that everyone who is in your organization knows who you are and knows that this person is a performer. So that way, once there is a strategic project, then you are more likely to be listed and you are more likely to be removed from the pile of discrimination.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And do not allow yourself to be pressured. I mean, everybody is unique and different in their own way. Thank you. So, Fibian, what advice would you give to the next generation of future leaders, future female leaders now? Because we're being specific.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, for the future, for the next generation of female leaders, I'll tell you that first of all, you need to believe in yourself. Bosse was talking about cheerleader. You need to be your own, the first cheerleader. You need to cheerlead yourself. So believe in yourself, pursue your goals without fear or favor. The society or the environment you're in may not be that favorable, but you just have to be resilient. Pursue, leave your comfort zone. Have a career plan and step out of your comfort zone to achieve it. You need to embrace opportunities to grow yourself as a person. And at the same time, you need to build your network. That is the mistake we make. We don't know how to build network. We don't know how to manage relationship. We cannot attain leadership without even, let me talk about the corporate setting, without knowing how to manage office politics and power. I want to tell you that there is politics everywhere, even at work. So how are you managing it? The people that are decision makers, how are you forming alliances with them? You need to do this to be able to lead, and you need to be able to be assertive. Your no should be no, and your yes should be yes. Above all, how are you delivering? Are you bringing values to the table? I cannot trust you with something big if I have trusted you with a little, responsibility, and you're not really delivering. So why will I give you a greater opportunity to do something? That little opportunity you have now, how are you maximizing it? So as a leader, you need to go out there and maximize the opportunity you have. The little team you are leading, maximize it. Leverage on the strength of your team and be a good leader. Then also, you need to be tech savvy. We are talking about the future of work, the new world of work. You can't say technology is not my thing. Everybody is moving towards technology. We are all having new digital strategies. So you need to embrace technology and you need to maximize it to help you. And I will leave you with this quote from John Maxwell, which says, leadership is like swimming. It can be learned, or it can't be learned by reading about it. It takes practice. Leaders become leaders by practicing. I'll say it again. Leadership is like swimming. It can't be learned by reading about it. It takes practice. Please start practicing leadership in your own little corner. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my wonderful panelists. You've done so well. In fact, you've made my job so easy, and I'm so happy and I'm so glad. I like what Fibian just said. Leadership takes practice. It's like swimming, And when it comes to leadership, some people think you have to really start from the top. You have to start it big, but no. In your church or in your, little circle, start to show leadership, qualities. Show that, you can actually have a seat at the table when it's required of you. So the little things actually count. So even though Abosede had said, at some point that, typically they will tell the lady to be the one to plan the end of year party, while the guy, or the man is the one working on the strategic marketing plan. But depending on your organization, sometimes that's end of year party may be what will make you so visible, and they'll say, oh, this person can actually rise to the top. I've heard of people, who through, or I've seen from my own professional career, people who are pro in quotes, when it comes to handling visits. So when we have directors and the rest coming from the UK head office, people who they put in charge of that, because it's a project on its own, and then they deliver, and with that they are more visible to management, and then they get raised in their career. So whatever it is you are asked to do at the end of the day, it's important, again, like Fabian said, to do it well. So we'll quickly take some questions that had been submitted before now, and then we would now take the ones that we've gotten from the chat box. You can still keep it coming. We may have to combine at some point. I'll just quickly read one comment from one of the medical doctors in the house, Stella. She said, as the medical doctor in the house, Tayo hits it right on. Your mental health is priority. Do not let anything or anyone mess with it. We've heard of people who at the end of their careers, fantastic careers, they've had regrets, that if they had known, maybe they would have prioritize some things more than the other. So nothing should suffer. So work-life integration, like Claire mentioned, is very important. So, but we'll be talking more around that. So the question I have is, why do men abhor women that are into successful businesses? And can sexuality be totally diverged from business? Now, this is from the person's perspective. Maybe the person has seen it happen. So I wouldn't know who thinks she would like to answer that. Maybe you have experience in that regard. So it's an open question. Okay, Glory has raised her hand. Glory, you have the floor.
Oh, okay. So, well, in a nutshell, I just want to say, if the men in your life abhor successful female entrepreneurs, you have the wrong men, or you're in the wrong room, so you need to change your circle. So the truth is, sometimes we women, we set ourselves up. So if when you're dating, you put up this facade of, I'm a consummate homemaker. I thrive in fact, the kitchen is my primary assignment, and then I'm a domestic goddess, and you're just trying to get that ring. So and then you don't show him your goal-oriented side. You don't. He now thinks his marrying Martha Stewart, and then you get into the marriage, and all of a sudden you're telling me you want to start a business. I'm like, how? So I think from the beginning, the secret of every relationship is mutual respect, and you have to be transparent, you have to be open, you have to be honest. So I'll make this very short because I know we don't have a lot of time. There was a study done in Harvard Business School where they put women with a loan and asked, okay, so what do you want to achieve in your career? Half of them said, I want to be CEOs. How do you want to make, stratospheric salaries? And they brought the men in and asked the same women, what do you want to achieve in your career? They didn't even, they now started, posing, how as women we have to, careers, who's interested in careers, and it was shocking. If this can happen in Harvard, and the women have a side that they want to show, the side that they show when they're trying to be true to themselves, and the side that they show when men are in the room, then how can you now turn around and then complain that people don't appreciate you for who you are? You were never true to yourself. You never show us who you are in the first place. So one of the people I really look up to in this regard is Oprah. Oprah has a partner she has been with for decades, Stedman. I think his name is Stedman. He's also a successful businessman in his own right. He's nowhere near her level of wealth and all that. And they've been together. He said he doesn't compete. He doesn't compare himself with her. He appreciates her for who she is. And I think they were even engaged to be married at a point in time. But she looked at her schedule. She was working 16-hour days. And she said, if I get married to this guy, this marriage is, because marriage comes with its own set of stereotypes and expectations. So I'm not advocating, people have an open relationship or whatever, but the point I'm trying to bring out from her experience is that, she was authentic and went for the type of person that appreciated her for herself, even though, he's nowhere near as rich as she is, but he has accepted the fact that his wife is more his partner is more
Partner.
successful than he is, right? So it all boils down to the woman. You know, nobody, the days of arranged marriages, I hope, are gone. So you essentially choose men in your circle, you choose the men in your life. So please choose wisely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So yes or no, can sexuality be totally divulged from business? Like, can you separate sexuality from
Yes,
business, at least from the Nigerian perspective?
Absolutely. I think men, you should always be willing to walk away from things that devalue you or dehumanize you or objectify you. You don't compromise your values. Nobody is indispensable. Even if you think, if you walk away, I've had investors that, or potential investors that, you know, at the point of investing, they're like, okay, let's travel to XYZ Paris and sign the deal. Then I'm like, what does Paris have to do with this contract? You know, and then you walk away because I believe in myself, I believe in my ideas, and most importantly, I believe in my God. And I know that if He is behind me, there's no way the business isn't going to succeed. So don't see any relationship as indispensable, that, you know, your business will collapse, your career will end if you don't compromise. I don't think that's really the way forward. Be willing to walk away from things that don't bring out the right version of yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. Be willing to walk away. For those, unfortunately, for those already in a marriage, sometimes they, you know, face this sort of issues. So I think here emotional intelligence should come into play. You know, you do not want to lose your maybe marriage at the expense. So you have to find a way to balance. It is important. So the next one is from a woman who is married with kids, and she says she knows the entrepreneurial journey is not a walk in the park. So she wants to know how to marry marriage with working as an entrepreneur. So basically, again, the work-life balance that we've been talking about, or the work-life integration, that is the new way to look at things. If I just quickly bring in my own example, even before online school started, because I knew I had lots of deadlines, I had to find a way to make my, you know, children work while I'm working. So I had to pay for, you know, online subscription kind of, you know, things for them to do, like IXL and the rest. So sometimes you just have to find a way to make things work for yourself. Tayo, would you want to talk about how you manage, you know, marriage with, I know you've said some, but maybe you want to just go a bit further. You have the floor if you want to talk more about how you can marry marriage with, you know, business. So I'm expanding it to include business in general.
Okay, I mean, I mean, I hate to say this, but I think she's lucky, because I feel entrepreneurs, they're not bound by career rules, organization where you have to get to work so time. Your time is yours. So I feel the problem is almost like half solved. But the question now is, okay, this pandemic, how do I now do my business, manage it with family? I feel everyone now has a smartphone. So I was saying to some of my friends yesterday, look, for as long as you have a smartphone and data on your phone, we need to look for how to make money. We need to look around it. In fact, this day I was also in a webinar where top executives, all the Dangotes and all the Ebert Wigways were there, and Ebert said something. He said, look, back in the day in banking, it was conflict of interest to have your own business. But right now, things have changed. No employer can even hold you to say you shouldn't have your side hustle, because employers are cutting down, they're cutting pay, salaries are being cut, people are losing their jobs. So there's even a call for us to now be creative, think creatively, and start to generate additional income. So I say to the woman, look, you've always been doing it. You've always been, I mean, some of us are just learning. We have always been in the career line. We've not really had a lot of business sense. And one thing I did, I got, I'm really interested. I've been eyeing the export business. And I got a friend that I am understudying in his office. So I resumed to learn the ropes of the export business. So I say, this day and age of information, there's information on how to plan your time, manage yourself. So Just Google research on what you're trying to achieve and speak out, talk to people in the business. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is there's a deliberate consciousness to drive women into business when it comes to that's like SDGs and all that, but it's at the expense again of the family. So what's the deliberate efforts in place to educate their spouses or better half to support this aspiration and manage the challenges? I would want someone to volunteer to answer this question. I don't know, do you want me to? Okay, Tara, please go ahead.
Okay, I see Fabian also raised her hand,
No,
so
you can
I'll
go
try
ahead.
and
No, I have a special
because
question
I
for
like.
Fabian on
Oh, you
tech.
have a special one for her. So you see this constant thing about at the expense of the family, at the expense of the woman, and Glory made a point with the question of why do men abhor women? You know, we've said before, it's very important that you know yourself. I think it's a very crucial thing to achieve before you even get married, before you take on certain job roles. There are things you must know about yourself. And we constantly evolve. So imagine you constantly evolve, you don't even know yourself. Then you get married, then you begin to learn things about yourself, learn things about the person you got married to. And then it's like, hey, surprise, surprise. My life is going on, and then I'm thinking, oh, I want to make all these big moves, and I'm like, oh no, I can't do it because I had kids, or my husband won't even hear of it, you know. And Glory said something at that first question. Whoever asked that question should change the men surrounding her.
As far as it's not her husband.
As far as it's not your husband, but I'm hoping that in the case where you can make a decision before you get married, you must know yourself and surround yourself with somebody who has a similar vision to yours. Now, for somebody who's already married, there has to be a way. There's a key importance to relationships, and marriage is a relationship as well. In short, it's a partnership. If you cannot do certain things and you feel it's at the expense of the family, it means that you cannot communicate. Where you cannot communicate to even put your interests and what the things you want to do across to your spouse, who is your number one support system before your other support systems. I mean, I think it's a tough place to be in. You should not feel you are in business or you are in your career, and you should not have to feel it's at the expense of your family that you grow. When you begin to feel that way, it means that there's something else missing. It very likely is not feeling that support in terms of your relationship with your spouse, or not feeling that support where you need it. Like I said before, we are not superwomen. You must learn to accept help, ask for help, get a support system. It's a shame that we have environments where, you go to work because of the capacity women have. You can go to work, have a demanding job, be in traffic, get home, check homework, has everybody eating, still make dinner. Then for someone like me who likes to bake, I'm thinking, we have to bake something in the midst of everything that is happening, and I'll still bake. And my daughter will say, no, mommy, let's bake this and let's do that. And I'm like, okay, so I'll set this day aside and set that day aside. And then a deliberate effort is to constantly be in communication with your spouse to say, look, I need this, and I need to get this done. I need your support. I need you to help me. And then there has to be an agreement to say, okay, we need a nanny. Please, men, don't be that person that wants to eat fresh food every day. When the woman has come on. She will go to the market. She will go to work. You say because your mother did it. I understand. Then maybe mommy was not in the career or in the workplace per se. My mother was a teacher, and I think teaching was quite flexible. So she could, while she's in school, she would have sent one person, maybe somebody inside the school, to the market for her. That's a support system. We must not forget or disregard the support systems we have. And it is very important that we talk. Find support groups that support your vision, not gossip groups. They won't add any value to you. Support groups that support the vision, the things you want to achieve. There are small groups, activities for the children where somebody thinks, oh, the children will suffer. No, children today are learning a lot. I think it's been on social media recently that a 10-year-old girl was employed into a school to teach coding. I mean, that parent or the parents must have invested in that child for that child to have that. So that child is in school now. What will I be doing?
Exactly.
The child is occupied adding value to other people. And that's the whole point, value. It's all down to value.
Yeah,
So
value.
it is important that we find ways to communicate, to be able to get or do those things we want to do. Like the person said, what effort is in place to educate spouses in a way to support? The first education comes from you, educating your own spouse, talking to your spouse, constantly communicating to say, no, nothing is being left behind, a constant reassurance that I'm here, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm a better person and a happier person to give you a better part of me when I get to do this thing I want. So that's all I have.
Thank you. So I was
Fabian
quickly,
wanted to say
thank you.
something quickly. I don't know if it will be
No,
quick.
Fabian would have a tech question. I wanted to take Abosede first because I think so. I'll just quickly take Abosede and then go back to Fabian. So Fabian, your question is HR as the resident HR professional in the house. So again, Bukola had said, with all that women are expected to deliver and balance, why do you think some organizations don't pay women same level as men? Because is it because it's believed the woman has other financial support? And then in addition to that, she had talked about, do you think women should mention to their employers if they are going through marital problems that may affect their productivity or their delivery at the workplace? Or do you think that will make them look weak? So what do you have to quickly say to that? Abosede, that's for you. Did you hear me? Go ahead.
Oh, yes, sorry, I thought it was for Phoebe. So I think first and foremost, you have to find a way to, we have mentioned support structures. You cannot overemphasize the need for support structures. Going from the last question, I have worked in organizations where we practice having one-to-one sessions with your direct one-ups. Those one-to-one sessions ranges from having professional to personal discussions. If you are in a situation at home that would really affect your work, then you may need to speak to your boss, assuming you have a supportive boss. If you do not, then you may have to find a way to compartmentalize, because really men also have issues and somehow they find a way to keep it away from work and still be productive. We have to find a way to ensure that whilst we're at work, we're delivering the best we can. And if you have a supportive boss or if you have a supportive colleague, then you need to ask for help in a way that they can ensure that they're able to help you. With regards to the question on the salaries, like we have all mentioned, women tend to draw back. Some don't even bother to negotiate their salaries. This is Forums like this is what will help us to realize that we need to speak up, we need to be heard, you need to know your value in the marketplace, you need to know what you're worth, so that when those conversations come up, you are able to have the conversations. And like Fabian rightly said, it comes with practice. The first time you're going to negotiate a job role or even the salary, you'll be nervous, you would probably fumble it up, but the more you do it, the more you get used to it. So it's more of practice makes perfect.
Thank you. Just to quickly add to that, I also like what Glory had. Thank you, Abosede. I also like what Glory had said at some point, that you have to decide what's important to you, right? So for some people, it's the whole career and the rest. But for some others, they want it a bit differently. So if you can negotiate in your workplace to work reduced hours for maybe less pay, that may not be so bad. You don't have to always think of everything from a monetary perspective. That's just, an addition to that. So Fabian, your question has to do with tech. So it's how do women entrepreneurs access information on the best technology available to enhance their chosen careers other than the internet? So I don't know why the person wants other than the internet. Maybe what the person means is social media. I kind of suspect is social media. So maybe the Instagrams of this world as against the internet in general. And then the person said, is there any agency related to their line of business that's always available to make relevant information on various feeds accessible? So Fabian.
Okay, thank you, buddy. When I saw you, I just laughed bad. How can you access information on best technology other than the internet? So I took it literally to mean that you want to access information, but you don't want to go through the internet. Okay, fine. But at the same time, you're still going to be referred back to the internet. But let's just treat it that you want it offline. So what you can do is you can attend physical events. Yeah, that will be after COVID, obviously. Attend physical events that are relevant to the industry in which you play in, that are relevant to your interest, your area of interest, be it business, be it career. You need to attend events and network with people that are in that space already. While attending the event, you hear it firsthand from them speaking. Since you don't want to go the route of internet, then attend physical events after COVID and listen to people speak. Then you can also read journals. Maybe that will be, you don't want to read it online, but if you can read it online, then read journals, read books that are related to your area of expertise. We have great authors across different sectors, across different industry, that you can access their books. We have e-books that you can, and if it requires you going to the library, okay, let me say, you can come to Lagos Business School Library via an alumni. So if it requires you going to the library to go and read physical book, or do you get a hardcover book, whatever kind of book you want to read, so access book, read books. I tell people, for you to lead, you have to be a reader, read books. Then you can also have a mentor. Tayo mentioned earlier about our mentors. You need to have a mentor, somebody that's been there, done that, somebody that can help you collapse years into months, so that you don't have to make the same mistake he or she had made over the years. So have mentors, have people you look up to, that you can call up, you can chat with, and they, give you access to whatever information you need, or direct you to the right path to where you can find the information. Then another thing, you can belong to associations. There are so many associations. You can find them on LinkedIn. You can ask people that have been in your field to direct you. Belong to a relevant association, a professional body, because by that you keep up with industry trends. What is going on in this industry? What is the future in this industry? So you have access to that. So that's what you can do offline. If you don't want to go the route of internet, that's what you can do. We have so many resources that you can tap into. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, did somebody want to quickly add something? Okay, so I mean, this program is courtesy Lagos Business School. So of course, Lagos Business School has a myriad of different programs that you can sign up for, either as a career professional or as an entrepreneur. I mean, you have the senior management program, which I know is not for only those in maybe a structured organization per se. You also have the advanced management program, you have the owner management program, and there are also other short courses. I'm sure Ifeanyi at some point, or the people from LBS on this call, will be giving us more details when it comes to that. Of course, you also have the MBA. MBA is not for only those who want a strict professional career path. If you want to do your own business, of course, the MBA is also something that you should look to do, because you need the general management expertise. And then when it comes to what Fabian talked about in terms of associations, I know for businesses, you also have like the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, you have I think Nigerian Institute of Management, and you have some others as well that you can actually join, and then you would get more support. So moving on to the other questions that came up from the chat box, we saw, so there were lots of comments, right? And I'm happy with everybody on the call, providing help. So even the participants, thank you very much for, being your sister's keeper, so to speak. It's very important to have a support structure, and this is one of those support structures Tara talked about. So it's very key. We need to be able to help ourselves, because the truth is we are still disadvantaged. We envision a world when we would no longer be disadvantaged, but until that time comes, we need to keep finding ways to help each other. So the next question I would like to talk about is from Esther. She said she's been trying hard to multitask and improve on her career. She's finding it difficult to work and complete her ICANN studies at the same time. So she gets because of funding issues, but who knows, maybe there are other issues as well. So she gets distracted and it seems like she's losing focus. So I wouldn't know who would like to give a shot at that. Maybe if you have, from an HR perspective, ways she can focus, or if you know tips that you can suggest for her to be able to compartmentalize. Actually, you mentioned a bit of that, Abosede, being able to compartmentalize. Do you want to talk more around that?
Briefly, what I would like to talk about is at different stages of your career growth or you as a person, different things are important to you. So at this point, you need to know exactly what is important to you. Is it the ICANN? Is it your career? Is it your family? You can't have everything important at once. So even when we talk about work-life balance, some things are more important at certain times than others. So you have to determine what sacrifices you're willing to make at this time, which could include taking a job that would afford you more time or pay you less money so you can focus on your ICANN. And then when you're done with that, hopefully with that, you're able to negotiate to get a higher paying job. Or are you willing to invest in getting a help such that when you get back home, you're able to focus and read during off-peak periods? So basically, you just need to I think it was Glory that said at the beginning, you need to know your personal vision. What is important to you at this time? It can change. It doesn't have to be fixed throughout your lifespan. So once you know what exactly is important to you at this point in time in your career or your family, then you can prioritize and go at it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I believe that, so Chichi had asked a question and she wanted it directed to Phoebe, and she had said, what do you do as a woman in an organization with a supportive boss who wants you to take up more challenging roles, which you as the woman feel incapable of handling and meeting his expectation? But I believe Tara mentioned it at the initial stage. I don't know if you remember when she talked about her having to go to Cameroon and how she was, a bit worried. So I believe we have done justice to that. But Chichi, if you do not think so, you can comment again on the chat box to tell us that yes, you want more concerning that, but let's just try and get through all of the questions. So we have just about 3 minutes to round up this session, as in this section of the program for today. So another one came from Bemi. Bemi said, from the HR perspective, what is being done across board, in terms of changing policies to avoid barriers that limits people, even though I think it's more of a regulatory issue, but since I'm not an HR professional, please, future of work leader, and that's Fabian and Abasode, you can want to try with this. Okay, so
thank you, Bade. Can you repeat the question?
So she said, from the HR perspective, what is being done across board, in terms of changing policies to avoid barriers that limit people, when it comes to them applying for jobs. So, they send in their CVs, but because they put things like date of birth and the rest, they think it's discriminatory, more or less, And even just to add, let me tag something else to that. Someone else had also mentioned in the chat box that when it comes to salary scale, why do you need to negotiate when you just know what you want to pay as a company? Why do you need the person to be able to negotiate? What if the person is not a good negotiator, more or less? This is my interpretation of the question.
Okay, let me start with the salary negotiation. When it comes to salary negotiation, the bulk of work depends on you. You need to do your research. You can't go for an interview and you want to negotiate salary without having a pre-knowledge of what they pay. Even if you don't know for that particular company, the industry in which they operate, you should be able to have an idea of how much they pay. And you need to have a good negotiating power. I've worked in a multinational whereby what you are being paid depends on how you can negotiate, because we don't have like a fixed pay for different grades. So it depends on your power of negotiation and how much you were earning before coming for that interview. So it depends on the culture of the company that you're going for. But whatever culture the company has, the bulk of the work still rests on you. How much are you willing to take? What is your salary expectation? A lot of things go into salary expectation. If you don't have an idea of how much the company pays, some people will suggest, because there are so many ways in which you can do salary negotiation. Some people will suggest that you can mark it up with 20%. But I suggest that look at your cost. Is it going to be costing you more? Are you going to be traveling down more? Do you need to pay for fuel? Do you need to get somebody to take care of the children? You're paying for childcare. Is it going to increase your cost? So look at your cost and mark it up. What works for me? What works for me? What can I take? So your negotiating tool actually matters. You need to be able to negotiate. Sometimes you know what you can't take. Okay, I can't go below this. I can't take a salary cut, or I can't take a salary. It depending on whatever choice you have. But you need to do the bulk of the work by doing your research before going for an interview, so that you have an upper hand. You'll be talking from an informed place. Then the second one is about And the second one is about it's more of a regulatory issue anyways, that about policy. How are they, what are they putting together to ensure that when you're going for work? One thing I know that the apex regulatory body in Nigeria is doing, that is a regulatory for human resources management profession, which is chartered into personnel management. What I know they do right now in terms of you, maybe you're applying for jobs and you're meeting, some people may want to defraud you, or you felt that you're being discriminated against. What I know they do currently is they have a whistleblowing channel that you need to just send an email. So that, I think it's registrar@cipmnigeria.org, that you need to send, is a whistleblowing channel. Send an email to them and they take it off. If the person or the HR manager is a member of CIPM, then the person is going to be facing the ethics committee. And if not, they take it up from there. Then another avenue that you have, if you feel you are being discriminated against when you want to apply, another avenue you can pursue is the National Industrial Court of Nigeria, that is the NICN, that also has, the jurisdiction to work on that. I know we didn't really dwell much on sexual harassment and discrimination, but these are channels in which you can, leverage on to be able to lay your complaints, whatever complaint that you have. And in terms of policy, a lot of things are going behind the scene, and I'm sure that we are getting there. The HR world is getting there.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, ladies. I would just like you to use 30 seconds each to give a parting word. Just, it's been an, immense, very packed session, and I believe everyone has had a good time. I personally have learned a lot of new things, and for some it's been, reiterating some of the things I already knew. So thank you so much. I believe I'm speaking on behalf of every of the participants. So there's more questions on the chat. If you can please, panelists, still go on to, respond to some of them, that would be greatly appreciated. So just parting words. Let me start from Tayo this time around. Tayo, what do you have to tell us?
Thank you, Bade. Thank you, panelists or speakers. It was a very, very good session. However, I want to say that, look, times like this, we need to start to think collaboratively. A lot of challenges I also see is that we all want to do our thing. I want to do my business. I want to do this. But we need to get to a point right now where we're thinking strategically. And as women, we need to come together and start to collaborate. You don't have to be the one to export or to import all the things you want to sell. You can sell on behalf of someone. You can think what can we all come together to do? There's something we can all do together. I watched a TED Talk. I think it was Aisha Sese, and she says, I don't believe in competition. And, I had to chat in and say, look, I've spent years in Lagos Business School learning strategy, where you must identify your competitive advantage and take. And she says, listen, and I was so happy when she replied, and she says, look, it makes it look negative in her own view. But the moment we women can come together and start to think collaboratively, and we're not petty, we're not doing the pettiness. A guy can have an argument this minute and the next minute is over. If we women can put down our pettiness and come together and start thinking strategically, the world will be a better place. So I challenge us to think collaboratively moving forward. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Tara?
Okay, let me just quickly say, I'll take from something Glory really emphasized on, being fearless. I also mentioned it. Let's not be stifled by the society and upbringing and not go for the things you really want. Let's be more, let's be bold in the workplace. I mean, there's a lot of talk about what women can do now and opportunities for women now. There's so many women things, and it should give the fuel to those who may be timid or shy or think that they don't deserve it. Somebody mentioned in the comment section, imposter syndrome. It's happened to me before. It happens to me once in a while, and then I just feel, this thing, can I do it? Like, imagine with all this experience, I still doubt myself sometimes. So be fearless, be bold, and know that whatever you put in yourself, you know you can give value back. You know, if you know what you have gives value, don't doubt it. Be bold, be fearless, and you get to do what you want to do.
Thank you. So, Abosede, what do you have to tell us? 30 seconds.
Has its sacrifices. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, if you want to be the CEO, if you want to be whatever you want to be, every route has its sacrifice. You need to be ready to sacrifice whatever it is to achieve what you want. There is no right or wrong, but at every point in time, be ready to pay the price for what you want out of life. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Fabian, do you want to quickly tell us?
Okay, thank you everyone, and to all my fellow panelists, thank you. I know I have 30 seconds, and I just want to mention this in 30 seconds. Okay, now, how, as a woman, how do you remain relevant in the future of work? I'm so big on future of work because that is where we are. So I'll just give you 4 points quickly. Number one, skilling. You need to hone your current skill. We all have skills. We may not know we have skills, but you need to identify that skills that you have. Either you're in business, either you're a career person, 9 to 5 person. Identify that skill and upgrade it, update it, update your skill. Don't be obsolete. Update your skill, be an avid reader. Then number two, branding. I'm so big on personal branding as well. If you're doing something that nobody knows, you're just like someone that is winking in the dark. You're the only person that knows what you're doing. Every other person doesn't know. So what you can do is brand yourself. Have a very strong personal brand at work and online, because this is how opportunities can find you. And this is how you too can find opportunity. See, opportunity may not come. You need to go out there and find that opportunity yourself. So your active online presence also matter. And number three, problem solving. You need to add value wherever you are. Solve problem. Let somebody know you for something. Be a subject matter expert in something. When somebody mentions something, let them remember your name and associate it with that. So you need to be a problem solver. Then number four, networking. You need to network. Your network is determined by the size of your network. You need to network. Create alliances, people within your industry, outside of your industry, locally, globally. Create a strong network. Then I have this to say, the sky is just the beginning. So go out there and be the best version of yourself.
Of yourself. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I know Glory is next, but sorry, Fabian, I need to take you up on something. And this is something that bothers me personally. And I believe this is an opportunity to share it, because who knows, 1 or 2 people here may have that situation. So, you know, when we hear, oh, you need to create top of mind awareness, you need to have your personal brand, you need to be out there and all of that. So sometimes I kind of feel that it gives people the license to be who they are not. Not so, for example, you try to be somebody else. So how would you relate that to the authentic, leadership Glory talked about? Sorry, I'm taking us back, but I think it's important that we address this here, because for us ladies, we sometimes have that issue of, okay, who do I be on social media, and is that really who I am? So
okay, thank you, but you cannot separate who you are. I know some people can come online and say who they are not, but time is always a judge, and time will always tell. If you say who you are not and somebody engages you and they discover that it's just all talk, no content, do you get? So I want us to focus on, this is who I am, and let me blow my trumpet being who I am. What we have issue is because we want to be somebody else. That's why we come online and want to, copy somebody else. So be authentic. Be who you are. That little thing you can do, blow it up. Let people know what you can do. Show your skills. And when you're talking about personal brand, it's not just about your social media pages. Your email signature is a personal brand. Even your status on your WhatsApp is your personal brand. When people call you and they see your picture, what is the personal message? What are they saying? That is your personal brand. Your CV is your collateral, marketing collateral, which is also your personal brand. So when you're talking about personal branding, it's in all totality, not just your social media. Then when you're at work too, the way you talk, the way you dress, these are things that makes up your personal brand. So be truthful to thyself. You mentioned it earlier. So be truthful to thyself. Be truthful to yourself. Don't try to be somebody else. Be who you are and be proud of who you are.
Thank you. Glory, you can jump on where she, continue from where she stopped, and then you give us your parting words.
Sure. Okay, all right. Thanks so much. So I have 3 points to make. I will quickly touch on a question in the chat that I don't think we addressed. So someone asked something about the remuneration gap between men and women. So why is it that sometimes men are paid more than women? Sometimes we bring this upon ourselves, I'm sorry to say, because of our choices. So if you notice, women are overrepresented in some fields, such as teaching, nursing, English literature. These are good things, but predominantly they pay less than STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math, where men tend to flock to. Also in the workplace, women are also overrepresented in HR, marketing, and the softer skills, while men go for, men are more overrepresented in finance, strategy, and the CFO that's usually the traditional path to the CEO position. So we probably need to not just lean into things that play to our strengths, but also if our eye is on the top dog position, then we also need to be strategic in choosing the assignments that we take in. Number two, I also, from my observation, I think sometimes women were our worst enemies. We can be very petty, can be very competitive in the workplace. Men naturally, they play soccer from, they play games, they play team sports, so they know everybody can be the striker. Some people will be the defender, some people will be the keeper. It's okay as long as we win the game. But we women kind of find it harder to work in teams. So we don't support ourselves enough, I think. The old boys club is alive and well. Men, help themselves. But we women, I think we need to do a better job. I'm not saying we don't. So I'm on the board of BJS today because the woman picked me. I know some women that have gotten jobs while pregnant because other women had faith in them. But I'm just saying, I think we can do better. Our hearts are large enough. We can do better to support each other. Then finally, my parting word is success is a phrase that has held me in good stead all through my career. Success is goals. Everything else is commentary. So everything else we've said here is really the key point one should take away is, okay, so what are you really trying to achieve? And that's broken down into this. Know your why and never change it, or almost never change it. Know your what and review it annually. So that's your strategy, your goals. Know your who's on your team, who are you working with, and review that monthly. Know your when. So your projects, your processes, review that weekly, and then know your how. So what metrics are you tracking? What are your KPIs? And review those daily. So that's it from me. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much. So I love Sherry Sandberg. After I read her book, Leaning. So I would suggest, if you have not read the book, you read it so that you can learn some things. And she said, this is a funny quote from her. She said, there's a special place in hell for women who don't help other women. I'm sure you've heard everybody say today that it's important for women to have support. Support structure is very key. And it's also important to be fearless. It's very key. You do not look at yourself as, oh, how am I going to cope with all of these things? You can do things afraid. That is truly the way you would grow, by doing it afraid. If it's going to be easy peasy all the time, then how are you going to, grow? How are you going to move to the next level? For you to be able to grow, you need to be able to stretch. And that requires you giving up, more of yourself. But as much as you're doing all of that, work-life integration is very key. You need to be creative. This is the 21st century. You need to be creative in how you juggle all of the things that you need to do. And it's okay at some point to let something take a back seat, for another thing to thrive. So we heard Glory tell us about Indra Nooyi, who, I would say has been one of the most, if not the most successful chief executive of Pepsi, and of course of the Fortune 500 companies. And we heard her say that sometimes she tells herself, today I'm going to be the best mother, because she knows tomorrow she needs to be the best CEO. But wherever you are, you need to show up. We kept hearing that. We heard Fibian say it. We heard Abosede say it. We heard Tayo talk about, how you need to ensure that you do not compete with other women. See how you can partner with other women. See how you can leverage your network. And if you do not belong to any sort of, women group, you have a lot of them on WhatsApp and other, media right now. See how you can get something you can benefit from. No one is an island. No one can do everything all by themselves. So I want to say thank you to everyone who has taken time out from your busy schedule today to be part of this. We have vote of thanks from I don't know if we have anybody from LBS willing to give us some more information, maybe about the programs you have available and things like that.
Somebody also asked for, okay, yeah, sorry, somebody did,
Okay.
the name of the book is there.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Lean In by Sherry Sandberg.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we may not have time to talk about LBS program here now because there's so much points that I want people to soak in. Every other information that is on our website and our social media handle. You can also send us an email at mba@lbs.edu.ng. I'll put it on the chat. I just want to specially thank our alumni president for being here with us. This is Claire Omashaye, for making our time to join us. And for the rest of all our participants, I say thank you so much for making our time, for being here with us. That's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mrs. Cleo Masheye. Thank you so much, panelists Glory Eyinaya, Fibian Amusa, Abosede Ogundiyun, Tara Jibulu, Tayo. I wouldn't know if they can quickly drop or you can search them on LinkedIn, I believe, and that would be, apart from Tara, who is Tara Jibulu. For the others, you can immediately type their names. You can find them on LinkedIn. Tayo, you can just quickly put your name the way they can find you on LinkedIn, so that
yes, I've done that.
Okay, so we can take this beyond here. And if you have any questions or comments, you send it to mba@lbs.edu.ng. It's been a wonderful session. I've had a nice time, and I want to say thank you once again. And I would like the panelists to just say thank you as well.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your time.
Thank
I
you.
hope we were able to add value as we intended. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So is it possible to unmute the ladies? Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I think the participants are on. You can unmute them as well, just so that as they go, they can just drop a word or something.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. It was a good session. Thank you. Eye-opening. I'm a better person.
I'm sorry. I saw Mrs. Claire raised her hand. I'm so sorry. Is it too late? I'm so sorry. I'm just saying that for.
It can be late for her.
Please, can you quickly tell us something, Mrs. Claire? We still have many people on the call. I think you will need to unmute her, fine.
Yeah.
So good afternoon, ladies, and thank you to LBS. It's been an absolutely exciting, amazing session. I mean, there's nothing more than hearing from practical experience of incredibly inspiring women. Thank you for sharing, and we need a lot more role models, new voices to encourage women in the workplace, encourage female entrepreneurs, to show that whatever you set your mind at doing, you can get there. I love the fact that you say that the sky is not your limit. That's just the beginning. It's been a lot of words of wisdom, a lot to take home. And I think at every level, there's a lot to learn. I've learned a lot. Be bold, be fearless, have a clear value system, be your own brand, be ambitious. Ambition is not a negative word. It's an incredible word. And I think that we've learned a lot from these ladies. So thank you so much. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. And God bless you, Ma. That's the president of the alumni, Lagos Business School.
Outgoing president. I'm immediate past.
Okay. Immediate past.
I hand it over to our new president, Mr. Frank Aibon, the editor.
Wow.
And
Wow. Thank you. That's
Right,
true.
okay.
Actually, thank you. Thank you very much,
Most
Ma.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
I
enjoy
couldn't
your
miss
day,
such a session
everyone.
and not be part of you. I had to encourage our own.
Yes. Thank you so much. We appreciate this.
All right.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Enjoy your day,
God bless you.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys. Continue to keep safe.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Fabian.
Bye.
Bye, Tara.
Bye, Tayo. Tara.
Bye.
Glory. Abosede, Fabian.